Hello everyone, I'm FARMERSIM, and from where I'm sitting it really does feel like Martin has caught the map making bug. It really does. It only feels like last week that we were given his very first and quite frankly wonderful map, Garth Farm, and now, already, we're being treated to his second. Welcome everyone to Rodmarton. So here we are, ladies and gentlemen, MartinMLGamer's latest map that he's been very busy working on these last couple of months or so, and it is absolutely gorgeous. It is a properly lovely map, this. So a little bit of information from Martin himself regarding the map. So Rodmarton is based on the real-life place near Cirencester in the United Kingdom. The fields and roads are identical to real life, and the farms and everything else, he's used a little bit of artistic license, which is all good. There is a good mix of field sizes centered around arable farming, with a few smaller grass fields thrown in. There are two main farms on the map. There's one arable and one cow. Those main farms are this one here, Stonehill Farm, and you also have Rodmarton Farm here, right bang in the centre of the map, which is the cow farm. There are also three smaller yards on the map that are just essentially just a group of the odd shed here or there. There's a couple of them have got names. You've got Slate Barn Farm here at the very top of the map. You've got Lane Farm, and there's also, which I believe is the third one, is this one, which doesn't actually have a name. You can tell they've got names because they appear on the map PDA. There's a BGA. There is a good sized placeable area which is left blank so that players can place their own production systems down if that's the approach that you wish to take. There are 4 sell points on the map. You've got Manor Mill here. You've got Rodmarton Grain, Sandpool Market, and you've got Southwest Grain. There's an animal dealer. There is, of course, the vehicle shop. There's a biogas plant, and that's pretty much it. Now, and I'm absolutely fine with that. Again, very similar to a few maps that have been released recently, especially UK maps. But the fact that the map doesn't contain any production systems, because the map maker, in this case Martin, he leaves that up to us. If we want to play, if you want to take the approach and work towards production systems, you've got the ability to do that. There's a big space on the map to place things down. But the map hasn't been populated with anything that it doesn't really need, and I'm absolutely fine with that. I really am. But yeah, this map is really, really nice. It's absolutely gorgeous. The map does use 4 mod dependencies. You've got the Sell Everything mod here by Schultz Modding. You've got the large UK cow barn here from MS Modding. You've got the British style grain sheds pack from Red Dog, and you've got the British style bunker silo here from Rod the Mod. All four of those are listed in the mod description, but it is one of a really nice touch I feel that Martin has put into this map is going back to that Sell Everything mod by Schultz Modding. All four of the sell points on the map are made up using that Sell Everything tip grate, if you want to call it that, so you can sell literally everything at any of the four sell points on the map. And I think that's a really nice touch, that, because, you know, sometimes you've got to jump into the menus and figure out where you've got to send a particular product if you want to sell it, but you can just go to any of the four and you can sell literally everything that Farming Simulator can produce. So it's I think that's a really nice touch. I think that's a really cool thing to do. There are models used with permission from MS Modding, from Red Dog, from VR Modding, and from FS Landscaping. And as with Garth Farm, all the fields and farms are named. And again, this is a really nice touch that Martin has put into his couple of maps that he's made so far. And I think, especially for UK maps, I think it's a really nice thing. There is also custom wind, there is alfalfa on the map, there is stubble damage, there is UK number plates, and there is also obviously traffic as well. I've turned traffic off for now just because as I was wandering around the lanes are kind of single track lanes. And a big shout out goes to David Van Mol for helping Martin sort out a few of these things here. So yeah, big shout out to David there, cracking guy. So yeah, anyway, right, so before we crack on with having a bit more of a look around, let's jump into the PDA. Right then, the PDA, I just really love this touch of naming the fields instead of just having them named numerically. I think it's such a cool thing, and I know a few people did have their hand in choosing some of these. I think if I remember correctly, I was responsible for Turvey up here in the top, but I know he was asking for suggestions for names over on Discord these last few weeks, and it's just really cool. And no, it's a common thing, I believe, in the United Kingdom at least, to have fields named. I know those of you who've watched Clarkson's Farm know that all of his fields are named. If you watch season 1, you get a rundown of a few of those field names when Caleb's running them off in his office there. But yeah, it's just a really nice thing to do. I mean, look, I'm picking out some of my favourites. I've got to say, you've got Rotter here. I love that. Let's go pull the weeds out of Rotter. Or let's run the plough in Dangle. I just love that touch. I think it's really cool. But anyway, so a decently laid out PDA, I've got to say. And another thing that I do really appreciate about this map is the size of the fields. They're a really good size. I think the biggest I've figured out is I think on the map is Crumps up here at just under 38 acres, and then you've got some nice decent sized ones, 14.9 there, 14.98 there, Rolden, Norse there at 29.88, and then you've got some nice small grass fields in the middle there, Fall coming in at 1.17. You've got Prince at 1.86, Marsh, decent sized one there at 11.47, Dangle there, what's that, 2.17, my favourite, what's Rotter, 1.79. So yeah, it's just a properly nice touch, that. But as you can see, everything's labelled. So you've got, I mentioned it earlier, a few minutes ago, you've got Slate Barn Farm labelled up here in the very centre top of the map. This is one of the kind of the smaller yards. The main farm, you can see if I zoom in there, that's Rodmarton Farm. We'll have a look at that one in a little bit more detail as well. We're down here at the minute at Stonehill Farm. This is the farm that you start off with if you start in new farmer mode. As you can see, there's a couple of there's a tractor and a couple of bits of kit there we'll go and have a look at, and it's very nicely located right next door to the biogas plant as well, which is great. You've also got the sell points on the map. You've got Southwest Grain here and Manor Mill relatively close together in the centre of the map there. Top left you've got Rodmarton Grain, and very top right you've got the Sandpool Market there next door to the animal dealer, and top left again you've got the vehicle shop next door to Rodmarton Grain. And that's pretty much it. You've got the placeable area here as well that you can purchase for £109,000, and it's a decent size area. You can place down a good handful of production systems on there if that's the approach you want to take. But again, there's one of the yards there, Lane Farm. It's just a nice little kind of collection of a couple of buildings there. I just love the fact that everything's labelled on the map, whether it's fields or the yards. It's brilliant. As you can see there, slap bang in the middle, you've got the Farmland 100. If you click on that, that'll click and select all the roads and the bits of land here around the village, a few bits of land around the around some of the fields there. Down at the bottom here, the area of land around the biogas plant and around Stonehill Farm, but that comes in for free, so that's really quite cool. And I suppose that's a relatively quick but relatively done rundown of the map PDA. That's all there is to know, really. Really nice selection of field sizes and shapes, more importantly. And this is a 1x map, of course. At the minute, it's going to be for PC only, and it will be available to download from Martin's itch.io page, which I will put a link to in the video description below. On the date of this video's release, which I think at the minute is either going to be Monday or Wednesday, I'm not too sure which day this is going to be released, but either way, I believe Martin is aiming for this weekend, Saturday, for when the map is due to be released. So either way, jump on the Discord if you want to be kept up to date with when the map will be released. I'll put the link to my Discord and to Martin's Discord in the video description below, and yeah, you'll be kept up to date with that. But if you jump onto my Discord, for example, I'll put out a shout when the map has been released publicly. But yeah, I think it's just going to be sticking for PC at the minute anyway, because there is quite a lot of work in getting a map sorted to make it out to consoles as well. So anyway, right, there's the PDA. I will go and have a bit of a wander around and a look at the farms. Okay then, so the first of the two main farms. This one is Stonehill Farm, located towards the south of the map, and it's a beautifully laid out farm. It really is. You've got a nice big area here for storing stuff. You've got a bit of a cover shed there. I just love I love junk lying around a UK farm. It just feels absolutely right, doesn't it? A load of IBCs just sitting around. Got your farmhouse there. Just checking if there's a sleep trigger at the door here. You might need to place down a doormat for that, but that's all good. What you've got here is a couple of Red Dog's British grain sheds, which I think this is where the tractor sits. We go in here. The starting equipment, like I said before, there's not much of it, but what you do start with, we'll go into our garage menu. We always have Oz's garage menu list activated on my saves, because it's just a much easier way of displaying everything. But you start off with a medium tractor. You've got the Fendt 728 Vario. You've got a plough, for obviously for ploughing. Needs no explanation. You've got the Bednar Seeder, the Bednar Omega 6000 FL. And then you've got your fertilizer spreader, so you can deal with your solid fertilizer and your lime. And you've got a front weight at a 10 Winkle PAC 1500, and that's it. And that's quite cool, as far as I'm concerned. It really is. It's nice to start off with a Fendt. There's your example of some of your custom plates, RM74 TON for Rodmarton. That's really quite cool. But yeah, I do like Red Dog sheds here. They are really nice. So that's where a couple of things are located there. You've got your lime spreader, a couple more sheds, of course, so you can build up your farming empire, of course, with a bit more storage. But you can also use these for storing grain as well, which is kind of what they're meant to do. I think the door switch, oh yeah, it's around the side for that one, isn't it? Yeah, I think these are primarily designed and suited to be grain sheds. But yeah, really nicely modelled, but a nice addition to the map nonetheless. There's the plough that seems to have fallen over. I've had that plough myself over on Saxlingham, and I know that has a tendency to topple over, so it is what it is. And you've got a medium petrol tank here as well. But yeah, just a really nicely laid out farm. Relatively straightforward, but more than enough room to move about, and a perfect size for starting your farming career here on Rodmarton. And this is the one that is located just across the road from the biogas plant, which is great. So if you wanted to get into a bit of silage work or anything like that, you've not got far to go. So that's cool. Some big old bunkers as well to take advantage of if that's the approach you want to take, which is cool. So yeah, right, so a very quick whistle-stop tour of Stonehill Farm. Let's have a bit of a wander up the road now and go and have a look at Rodmarton Farm, which is that's the cow farm. But quickly before we get there, just on our right through these hedges is the blank placeable area. And again, I like the fact that it's just populated with a load of weeds, because it's just a desolate, unused area. But as you can see, it is a really good size for placing down any of your production systems if you want to get into anything. And as you can see, it's not pan flat either. I'm just referring to the placeable area, but then I can refer to the rest of the map as well. The map is not pan flat. It's got a lovely lovely contour to it. The ground, as it were, it's just nicely contoured and undulates up and down. There's some nice hills. It goes right down to the bottom corner, the bottom right of the map. It's quite low, so it's yeah, I always love that characteristic about a map, I've got to say. It's a really nice feature. I'm trying to think of the word, topography. Sorry, that's right. I think topography is the right word, isn't it? But yeah, the way that the lay of the land is bang on. So anyway, onwards to the second farm. Almost there. Taking a wander now through the little village here. I'm assuming this is the Rodmarton village, but again, another little detail that these little things I like, but just the old knackered, cracked concrete road, the texture that's been used to make the road network here on this map, I think is bang on. Again, it's yeah, they're single track lanes, width only for kind of one vehicle going in one direction, but yeah, it's I think it just sits perfectly for me. It really does. Now I believe the entrance to the farm is just up here on our left hand side, but again, I just love the fact that there's just, it's not too populated with houses. It's a relatively quiet countryside area, but there's a good few houses dotting around. So again, you can, if you were to start from scratch and start with nothing, you could pick one of those farms and place down a doormat mod for your sleep trigger, and yeah, start there and be a farm worker, as it were, or something like that. But the options there for you if you want. But this is the driveway that takes you round to Rodmarton Farm, which is the map's cow farm. So as you can see, coming up here, there we are. So you got your farmhouse, you got your petrol tank, you've got another couple of examples of Red Dog's British grain sheds. You got another cover shed there with open walls, and you have MS Modding's large UK cow barn. Now this will hold 150 cattle, 150 cows. I've thrown a load in there just for demonstration purposes. They don't have any food or anything, so they're not doing particularly well at the minute, but yeah, nonetheless, we've got them here just to see what's what. And then just around the side here, you have one of the other mod dependencies for the map, which is Rod the Mod's British style bunker silo. Another really nice mod. Suits it down to the ground, quite frankly, and again, just love the fact that it's kind of sat, the ground, the land around it kind of rises and goes around, where you got your out into your fields here, but I always like that kind of touch there, so that's really cool. Right at the very top of the map now, this is one of the, what's termed as one of the smaller yards, is this is Slate Barn Farm. And again, I love this idea of just a very, very basic, simple farm layout, which is just a couple of sheds and a barn. I'm not too sure if these are even, I think this is potentially just for decoration only, it's one of them, but yeah, it's just a nice blank-ish area to start something off, if that's what you wanted to do. I really like that approach. I think it's pretty cool. You've got somewhere to store your machinery out the rain if need be, if you're going to start nice and simple. Got the options there if you wanted to. Next one to visit of the smaller yards is Lane Farm here, which is just made up of, again, one of Red Dog's British grain sheds, and you've got a couple more of these cover barns, cover sheds here for keeping stuff out of the rain, and that's about it. Again, I just love the fact that you've got the lane that runs through the middle of it. It kind of divides it off and heads off towards the fields. But yeah, just a really nice, simple setup. Works for me, this, it really, really does. Lovely stuff. And last but not least, the third smaller yard, I think is this one. It's not labelled or named on the map, but I'm assuming it's this one. You've got another one of these cover barns here, and just a little bit of land around so you can place your own stuff down and build up a bit of a farm if you wanted to. But yeah, really, really nice. I think you can buy this one separately as well as a plot on the map, I think. Or does that come as part of 100? No, it doesn't. It comes as part of Pool the Field, sorry. So if you wanted to purchase this little one, you'd have to purchase the field here at 233,740, which I suppose is fair enough considering the size of the field. It's a good sized field. But yeah, if we just appreciate, I suppose, the size of these fields, when you look at it in the PDA as a whole, and then see it in person, it's a decent sized field. This, I suppose, considering the the fields that we've got on the map, a lot of them are kind of medium-sized machinery, and potentially large as well. You do have some smaller fields, smaller grass fields right in the centre of the map if silage was your thing. But yeah, most of the fields I think on this map are definitely at least medium equipment and above, because yeah, they're really quite big. Top left corner of the map now, just having a quick look at the dealership and Rodmarton grain sell point. So if you want to access Rodmarton grain, you'll take the right hand turning there, because they're both divided off by this chain link fence. But yeah, take the right hand turn, that'll take you around the corner there to Rodmarton grain, and keep in the left lane, it'll bring you around to the vehicle dealership, which I believe I recognise from, I think this is the one from VR modding, which I think is from Moss Valley if I remember correctly. But again, like I said before, Martin has been granted permission to use this, and it's just a really nice touch to see a nice JCB New Holland branded dealership. A little bit of an amendment there for Rodmarton Agri Supplies, but really nice. You can walk in, it's got a few things dotted around to give it a bit of life, but yeah, really nice. I just love the way the yards are laid out, to be fair. Like I say, peppered with storage containers, old forklift trucks, and a bit of decoration there in the shed, junk lying around, as you'd expect to find in a relatively quiet rural area of the country like this. But yeah, proper nice. Really cool. Right, up at the top right hand corner of the map now, where we've got the animal dealer and the Sandpool market sell point. So of course we've got the animal dealer here, as you can see from the icon, but you can also hear a little distant animal auction taking place inside, so that's really quite cool. Nice little bit of a detail there. A few more storage containers, naturally. And round the back here you've got the Sandpool market sell point. So quite simply, that's that. Wandering back up the lane now towards Rodmarton village, where a couple of the sell points are, and Rodmarton farm. But I just love, again, this little single track country lane, as you'd expect to find in this area of the world, with just 2 or 3, or is it 4 houses here, nicely spaced apart, decent sized gardens and such. But it just feels right, it really does to me, having frequented many places like this over the years in the United Kingdom. Just this nice little peaceful country lane with a couple of houses feels bang on, it really does. Right, we'll jump up in the air now and have a look at a few other things. So you've got a sell point here. This is Manor Mill sell point. Again, nicely decorated and populated with a few buildings and a big grain elevator there, which is really quite cool. Decent sized plot of land that it's on. This is right next door to the blank placeable area, just so we can remember and get a rough idea of our bearings from where we were before. If we turn back around and look down that lane, that's the starter farm there, Stonehill Farm. And then a little bit further up, just nestled nicely in the trees, is the fourth and final sell point. This one is Southwest Grain, just nicely nestled away in the trees here. A couple of nice little barns, nice little cul-de-sac area. But yeah, and those all 4 sell points cover literally everything that the game has to offer. And right up in the air now, having a good look over the map as a whole, it's a really nicely designed and laid out map. It really is. The fields, like I said before, they're a really good size. I mean, we're hovering above field 10 here. What's this one? If we go into the map PDA, this is Norse, just under 30 acres. That's a good size field, it really is. I've got precision farming on, so you'll have to excuse the tram lines, but when it comes to looking at fields as a whole, the tram lines kind of spoil it a little bit, because they're a little bit janky, aren't they? Speaking of precision farming, actually, we'll jump very quickly and have a look at the custom soil map, because I have purchased every plot of land and purchased them all again for the soil information. So you can see there's a nice wide range of the different soil types that we've got. Obviously you can see all the silty clay, the sandy loam, the loam, etc. But yeah, there's a decent array of it all spread across the map, which is nice. There is quite a lot of silty clay there, I've got to say. That's all good. But yeah, you get, in my personal opinion, and I know those of you who've seen my map tours before know that I do much prefer to do map tours from up in the sky, or predominantly anyway, because you can just get a much better feel for the lay of the land, as it were. And again, you can spot things that you haven't ordinarily spotted. There's just in the scrubland here next to some of the fields, you've got this nice little shed. It should be a cracking thing to start off with. You can stick a couple of vehicles in there, perhaps, or one at least. But yeah, tidy it up, get your lawnmower out, and get rid of a few of the bushes. Tidy it up a bit. That could certainly be a bit of a starting shed for you to go for, couldn't it? Like this nice big island in the middle of this field, which I think is actually called Island. Yep, seeing the map overview there in the bottom left-hand corner. This one's called Island, which is cool. But yeah, it's and then as we get towards the centre, towards the little village area here, you can see the smaller grass fields that are on the map as well. The wider fields being kind of scattered around the edge and in towards the middle. But it is a lovely map, it really is. I know Martin has been very busy in the background working with this. He's done a few live streams over on Discord showing us over the last few weeks that what he's been working on, and now he's been doing it. And it's been really interesting to see how maps are made. There was quite a few things that I was unaware of when I was sitting here watching him muck around on here in Giant's Editor and all that kind of stuff. So yeah, it was really quite cool. But Martin has given a handful of us the opportunity over on his Discord and sent us a copy of the map for us to have a look at and start putting together these map tour videos. And I'm very grateful, mate. So if you are watching, thank you for this opportunity, mate. It's a wonderful map. It really is. I've said it a handful of times already, haven't I? But this is a gorgeous map. It feels perfectly British. It really does. So there we go, ladies and gentlemen, a relatively quick whistle-stop tour, early access preview of the wonderful Rodmarton from MartinMLGamer. I've got to say a massive shout out to Martin for giving me the opportunity to make this video. It's a beautiful map, this, and I really think this is going to be extremely popular. So if you are excited about this one, please do jump on over to the Discord. I'll post a link to my Discord in the video description below, and I'll also ask Martin if I can post a link to his as well, so you can jump onto his as well, and keep an eye out for this release. Now, I'm recording this video on Sunday the 28th of September. I believe it's due for release this coming weekend, I think, possibly earlier, I'm not too sure, but like I said, if you're keen to get your hands on this one, then I wholeheartedly recommend you jump on one of those two Discords and keep an eye out for some announcements coming for when this has been released. Now, I've said this a few times before on my map tours, but I tend to prefer to do, I don't necessarily cover every square inch of the map. I don't go through every single detail that the map has to offer. I like to just showcase the main parts of the map. In this case, obviously, we've had a look at the farms, we've had a look at the sell points, and what the map has to offer in general. But I just like to leave as much as possible for you all to explore yourselves. But as you can see from up here, this is a beautifully laid out map. The lay of the land topography, I think, is perfect for this area of the United Kingdom. And like I said several times already, I think Martin has done an incredible job of this. He really has. But for today's map tour video, I'm going to call it here, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you very much for watching. I really do hope you have enjoyed this video and found it a little bit fun and a little bit interesting. If you're new to the channel and you've enjoyed the video and you like the way I'm doing things, please consider hitting the subscribe button and jumping on board, joining the channel. Please hit that like button too, as it does do wonders. Helps the YouTube algorithm do its thing. If you like the idea of supporting the channel, there are a couple of ways you can do that. There is my Giants Partner promo code if you're looking to purchase Farming Simulator 25 or any of its add-ons or DLCs. There's also coffee.com if you'd like to buy me a coffee. And there is also my G-Portal affiliate link if any of you are looking to purchase a multiplayer server to play with your mates. All the links to these will be in the video description below. Any help and support with any of these is always hugely appreciated. So, thank you very much for your time again, ladies and gentlemen. Take care, and I'll see you in the next one.